Hi, my name is Juliana. I'm one of the immigration and criminal defense attorneys here at Ibarra Maldonado Law Group, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about cancellation of removal and what that means, and kind of a quick overview of how you might qualify to see if it's something that you might be able to present in your immigration case. So cancellation of removal is a vital defense for immigration cases. There's really a few types of cancellation, but the ones that I'm going to focus on today are cancellation of removal for non-permanent residents and then cancellation of removal for permanent residents. So the one that I encounter more frequently is cancellation of removal for non-permanent residents. And typically to qualify for that, the individual has to be in the United States continuously for the last 10 years, has to be a person of good moral character, cannot be convicted of certain crimes that I'll touch on a little bit later. And the deportation would result in exceptional and extremely unusual hardship to either a lawful permanent resident or U.S. citizen, spouse, parent, or child. So let's just go through that for a little bit. So the first thing that you have to qualify for is continuous presence for the last 10 years. The clock for the 10 years stops when the individual receives a notice to appear. So that's a document from immigration saying that you have to appear to court on a certain day and a certain time. So whatever date that is on that document, that's where you would start counting and then count 10 years backwards from there. The second part is a person of good moral character. The judge is going to look at immigration violations, if there's any in the past, your criminal history or the individual's criminal history, all of those, community involvement, all of that goes into good moral character determination for the judge. There are certain bars of certain criminal convictions, like if the individual has been convicted of a crime of moral turpitude, that may render you ineligible for cancellation of removal. Another one would be an aggravated felony, alien smuggling, terrorist act. There's a number of criminal convictions, so my suggestion is if you've ever been stopped by the police, arrested, or you have any convictions and you might be facing the situation, please talk to an immigration attorney to be able to figure out if you're still eligible. And sometimes even if you have those convictions, there are arguments that can be made that you might fit into some exceptions of those. So that's why it's really important to get the information. The fourth element is exceptional and extreme unusual hardship. This is where the majority of the argument is going to go into, is showing why your family members, your lawful permanent resident or your U.S. citizen family members need the individual to stay here. Sometimes it's medical needs, educational needs, they need help, maybe you're the sole provider. All of those factors the judge will take into consideration for cancellation of removal for non-permanent residents. Then there's cancellation of removal for permanent residents, and that's a little different. The requirements are a little different. So the requirements for lawful permanent resident cancellation of removal are that the permanent resident has been lawfully admitted in the last 5 years. The lawful permanent resident has resided in the United States continuously for the last 7 years, and that they have not been convicted of an aggravated felony. So that's the difference between the two, is there's no exceptional and extreme unusual hardship requirement. There's no qualifying relative requirement, so the LPR or the United States citizen spouse, parent, or child. The continuous presence is less. So those are the two main differences between non-lawful permanent resident cancellation of removal and lawful permanent resident cancellation of removal. So if you or your family member or somebody else that you think might be able to qualify for either one of these two types of relief, whether they're in immigration proceedings now or maybe you just like to have the information and be prepared, hopefully that doesn't happen, please schedule a free consultation with our office at 602-910-4040.